Yo, yo, yo. What up? What up, people? What up, what up, what up? What's cracking? Clarissa, what's up, girl? What's up, girl? What's cracking? I see I've been ignoring slander recently. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. MF really celebrating Memorial Day? I don't know. We got to pour a little liquor today. Why? What up, Raff? I was doing something. I am posting a video. I am posting Mike Tyson versus the biggest upset in sports history, is what this video is called. That's what I'm posting right now. I'm doing it up. Biggest sports upset ever, I believe, is Tyson-Douglas. You guys disagree? Every day I'll bother you to explain my point on money. Okay. I've no longer been reacting to trash talk. You mean Alberto? No, don't do it. I hate seeing that upset. It still hurts. I got to do it. Yeah, I didn't get matter of fact, Bob, I didn't get the alert either. The biggest, see, I got to write it. Biggest, damn it, upset in sports history. Boom. There it is. There it is. And it is the biggest upset in sports history, I believe. You guys disagree? What's a bigger upset in all of sports than Tyson-Douglas? Does anybody know? I don't think there is one. Yeah, my notification didn't go through either. Why pour out a little liquor? Memorial Day, it's a U.S. holiday, not Bulgarian. That's something Shane would say. Shane would always be like, you can't celebrate my country's holidays. Funny, a little annoying, but funny. You know what I mean? Memorial Day is for all the people who died, like fighting for the country, right? I would assume. And then there's Veterans Day, which is different. But, you know, whatever. Same shit. All right. Nah. You think the Giants is a bigger upset than... Nothing bigger than that. The upset turned me into a life of crime at the age of 6. I was 13. I don't think the natives are pouring liquor. True that. True that, God. True that. Clarissa got jokes for days. Villanova beating Georgetown is bigger upset. Nah. Then Tyson-Douglas? As the kids say, Bob, is you crazy? My son's funny. He's starting to talk all like kind of hood. Because my son's school is mostly black and Hispanic, kind of like how I grew up. He's starting to talk kind of hood. It's pretty funny. He's mad blonde, and he was like, yo, you got cooked. I was talking to his sister. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like father, like son. He's like me in a lot of ways. This fucking kid. Hold on, sorry, I'm just posting this shit. I like getting it posted early because my views have gone down. Not on TikTok, though, weirdly enough. Actually, not on just Instagram. Anybody else seeing a drop in Instagram? That was good, CJ. That was good. Clarissa, is that true? Is that true, Clarissa? Your husband's a ghostwriter? Do you make him laugh, or does he not get your humor? I have a feeling he doesn't get your humor. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. This is the vibe I'm getting. even though I've never seen him or even seen you. I feel like you guys have very different senses of humor. Am I wrong or am I right? Talk to me. Tell me the truths. Let's hear. What do you guys think? Does Clarissa's? I think her husband doesn't get it. I think he's, people just have different senses of humor. I think he's different. What you think? All right, last post. I gotta see. I always post on my other Instagram because I've had accounts hacked or deleted, and if I was to lose this one, that's how I met Shaq and like fucking Matt, like all the smoke dudes. I've met a lot of people with this account, so if it got hacked, that would suck. So, but now I have the backup. So he doesn't care as long as I don't get fat. And I bet you there's some truth to that. Jokes always are rooted in some truth. Sometimes mostly truth, sometimes a little truth, but there's always some truth. So I was right. He doesn't give a fuck about the humor. He just wants you to look. We don't even know what you look like. For all we know, you could be a thick woman. We don't know. We have no idea. That's fucking funny. I think I'm going to do a Terry Norris video. I've done one, but I did it, one, in the infancy of my career, so I wasn't nearly as sharp with the wordplay. Two, it was when I only could do a minute-long videos. I want to do a 3-minute Terry Norris, man. He was one of my favorite fighters. Matter of fact, I don't even think I have a 3-minute Princeton seam. I should do a 3-minute Princeton seam, too. Yeah. I don't know which video is better. The ones I do that highlight a whole career, or the ones that's just doing a specific fight. I know. I didn't get the alert either. Here's what I'm going to do, though. Hold on. Let me finish. This is almost done posting here. Then I'm going to do another StreamYard, so people will get the alert that I'm going to go live. I'm just going to put boxing, and then I'm going to schedule it for, what are we now, 2:30 for 3. Boom. So that should send the alert out right now. All right. And then I'm going to go live on my phone. See, look. Go live. See, I'm going live. 3, 2, 1. I'm live. So now let's see if that sends an alert out. So I'm going to leave this here. So if you're watching me on this one, I'm going to give it a minute. Then I close out this one because hopefully it shoots an alert. But we'll see. Tone, what up, blood? I thought at first you said 3-minute prison scene. Like some gay shit? Damn, Dave. Georgetown was 35 wins, 2 losses, had NBA 5 players. You can't, Bob, you cannot compare any college sport to a professional sport. They never, it always fails in comparison. Pales in comparison. They're really going to make a fight in Alcatraz. I don't like that either. I know, man. I know. I'm trying to fix that right now. You just received an alert about what? The 30-minute alert, right? My boy told me to keep that Tyson glove in pristine condition until he passes. No, he's right. That's a fucking fact. By the way, guys, this man right here, Chase, sent 10 raffle tickets for this bobblehead. All right, I'm going to stop this. I don't think the alert went out. 10 raffle tickets for this bobblehead. So Chase will probably be the winner. Okay? So you guys want to roll it, we can roll it right now. I would just, if Chase loses, I'll be sad because he deserves it for sending 10 tickets. Maybe one of you could even give it to him if he doesn't win. Be like Yayan. Be like, it's okay. Be like a philanthropist like Yayan. Yes, if Tyson passes all stuff. Yeah, well, that's how it is. Marvin Hagler shit's worth way more now. Would you guys want a Marvin Hagler item? Because I can get one of those. Clarissa has no kids. I mean, CJ has no kids. Chase does deserve it. But if he doesn't win, that would suck. I said that when you raffle the Tyson glove, when he passes, all his stuff will be worth. Yeah. Chase, thanks for supporting the. You're the man, Chase. He's a man. Chase D. Chase D. Never chasing D. Only chasing P. Because he's Chase. Chase. We never chase D. His last name starts with a D. So Chase D. Chase D, but always be chasing the P, never the D, because he's Chase, not me. Bars. I could write rhymes. I just can't deliver them. I would throw in for a Hagler raffle in a heartbeat. All right, let's do this now, guys. Hagler raffle. What do we think? Hagler, Canelo, a Canelo pair of boxing gloves that you can use like bag gloves. What about that? I could get those. Not a big enough trash can for your delivery. Huh? You making fun of my raps? Yo, Dave, you're kind of mean sometimes. Anybody ever tell you that? I have 2 students in some class named Chase. Hagler or Duran. Duran's still alive, though. The Alcatraz fight works if the right fighter's on the card. You get known names who have brawling styles. I don't like it. I think it's weird. I don't like Alcatraz. I like the Coliseum idea. That's dope because you have spirits and the souls of warriors, of the first ever modern warriors. When I mean modern, I mean like non-caveman times. Floating around that joint. Hagler for me, but maybe I'll do both. You could learn how to deliver rhymes just like Eazy had to learn. I could. My problem is my voice. But yeah, I'd love to give you an ass whooping. How about that? My voice is too, when I get excited, it gets kind of like, it's kind of high like this. You know what I mean? And I feel like the rhymes I like I don't like Eminem because his shit's high. I like Big Daddy Kane, like, come get some, you little bum. I'll take the cake, but you can't get a crumb. Like, I like that baritone shit. Barry, Marco, White. Neither one can get any girls. I don't know if anyone named Chase can get a woman. This Chase probably is married with kids. Come on, man. He's a good-looking dude. Alcatraz is too small to have a crowd. I don't even know how big it is. Nah, Times Square is not too small. Times Square is only small because there's a lot of people there. Alcatraz is, if I'm not mistaken, dead. Like, closed off. They need an audience, fighters. Yeah. Right. Creative, but creativity doesn't mean effective. Do I live with that voice? LOL. I bet you get mad views. Huh? What's up, Slide? Slide, you've been leaving comments, right? I'm pretty sure that's you on my a lot of my videos on YouTube, right? You've been leaving good comments. I'm pretty sure it's you. Not really, Mo. No. I don't think so. Do you guys go to Alcatraz? All right, let me ask you this. Maybe you can it's a museum. Okay. So then you're right. So maybe it is a good idea then. You the man, Slide. I like your comments. Very, very profound. Next event underwater. They're just gonna box in submarine gear. My man, Chase. So I think Chase should get the fucking bobblehead. What I'm gonna do though today is so we're go with a Hagler or a Canelo. Canelo glove will be easier for me to get. An actual Canelo glove. That'd be kind of dope, right? Workout gloves. I know the Mexicans in this community I know Alberto might even buy it. Alberto might even get a ticket if I get a Canelo glove. I could possibly get some Hagler memorabilia, but the shit is worth a lot. So if I get that for my sponsors, we got to get some real raffles in it. That I'm a little worried about because what if nobody gives a fuck? I mean, I could always sell it on eBay, I guess, but I'd rather you guys have it. Turkey gonna have dudes fight on the moon. Like, I'd say for one creative spot for a fight per year, and those empty seat cards suck. Vargas, I don't think there is a Vargas anything. So maybe you could make one for me, Clarissa. I went to Alcatraz a year ago, 30-minute fair ride. They could set up outdoor bleachers, but it's only a small load. So how many people you think it could fit? If you look at it and you consider the area needed for the ring, right, and a little bit of walking room around the ring, how many people you think it could fit around it? Just ballpark. Who the fuck is this? Oh. Okay. They could fight at Central Park. They could. That's one of the proposed areas. Is Alberto? No. It will be fun one day. Turkey puts a fight in his living room. Marco, did you give your input on this weekend's fights, Plant and Charlo card? Oh, that's this weekend, huh? I don't know yet. I mean, I've talked about it, but not like an official. I got Plant winning and Charlo winning. Probably the same size as the Times Square event. Really small. Times Square event isn't small though. So you're saying only two? Oh, you mean Times Square was made small on purpose, Mo. They enclosed it on purpose. There was a lot more room they could have used. So you're saying it's only like a couple hundred people. Yeah, I think it's dumb too. I agree. Not even going to slander dude. Hope he does buy a ticket and supports the channel. All positivity. Good for you. Sometimes Marco stays so still, I think it froze. I do the mannequin challenge, apparently. Damn, Clarissa called Marco snowman. Yeah, that is racist.
Oh, that's racist.
Yep. Now he is, lol. Yeah, just a couple hundred. Yeah, that's stupid. Stupid and not effective, if you ask me. Stupido y no efectivo. Stupido y no efectivo. I don't like it. What we got going on? Talk to me, people. Yeah, just a couple hundred. 30 years ago today, I got 5 on it. It was released. Oh, yeah? What would be fire is a fight event at an old Roman. Well, that's been one of the things proposed at the actual Colosseum in Rome. Literally. I was saying that earlier. That's the one I like. I like that idea because you got warrior spirit there. Not many people could beat Plant, though. Marco, if you had to pick a fighter you admired, who admired your style, if you had to pick a fighter you admired your style by who? Oh, come on, slide. You don't know the answer to that?
Y'all must have forgot.
That didn't play clearly. Let me do it again.
Y'all must have forgot.
Him. Where the Alcatraz fight would be. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, I never even set the... Let's get these super chats going, people. I prefer Cash App, as you guys know, because I don't like giving 30. But let's get it. Let's get it. Let me set it up. I didn't do it yet. 10 super chats. We could do that, right? In the next few minutes. Boom. New breakdowns. All right. Let's get the super chat goal popping. All right. Now, let me click on what you just sent me. Okay. So the fight would be right here. So now when we look at it, we're thinking it would be on what? The front part? To the left? Right? It would have to be to the left, right? This part right here? Right? Is that what we're looking at? But the problem is, I have no idea how big that is. It doesn't look big. Right? It does not look big. And you have all this grass here. You could put the ring in the middle, and then, yeah, then you have all this. I mean, and it's weird. Also, here's a problem with that. Rain, and you're fucked. If it rains, you're fucked. I mean, I guess you could set up a tent or whatever. I Got 5 on It is the only song. The Lunats. No, yeah, that was a good song though. What's up, Jesus? There's a ferry boat bottom right for scale. Oh. Yeah, okay. Looks like where the elites would hang out and do nasty shit. Looks kind of dangerous. I'm with you. Go fall off that bitch. How about all the fights in a cage, no ropes, just like a jailhouse brawl? Yeah, why don't we just let them fight like in the movie Kickboxer where they dip their knuckles in broken glass and just go at it? Like, come on, Bob. I also know I Got 5 on It remix. Alcatraz is Epstein land. I can see Don King having a fight there in the 70s. Nah. Strve. Колко е часа там? 8? 8 или 9? 45. Benavidez versus Hart rumored. Who the fuck is Hart? Hart? Who the fuck is Hart? If they held the fight during the summer, probably safe from rain. Why you say that? Oh, because California doesn't. Velizar, here in America, we don't go by army time. Кажи ми 8 или 9. Защото ако казваш 21, трябва да почвам така да струвам. How do you say counting? Струваш? Да струвам? How do you say starting to count? Трябва да струвам. Fuck, I forgot how to say count. I Got 5 on It remix. Let them fight till someone passes. Jesus. Merci. Благодаря. Bret Hart. Definitely not Owen Hart. Who's Jesse Hart? What up, DeAndre? Benavidez versus Gary Hart or Tank 200. Who's Gary Hart? Who the fuck is that? Boy, I have some highlights to watch. Who's that? Oh, now you're going to make me look him up. Make me look him up. We'll look him up. Fuck it. You guys, that's how you guys want to get down? Let's do it. All right, here we go. Gary Hart, boxer. Okay, that is a boxer. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, not him, obviously, because he's a heavyweight. All right, let's try this. Hart, boxer, rumored versus Benavidez. Jesse Hart. Okay. Let's see who the fuck that is. I never heard of him. There he is. Jesse Hart. 31-0. 31-3, excuse me. From Philly. Knockout percentage, 80. Ooh. That is a excellent knockout puncher by Marco's ratings. Let's see what we got. From Philly, 6'3". Oh, no. It's a big boy. What did he start at? Started at 165. Okay. My weight. Let's see who he fought. And let's see who beat him first off. He has 3 losses. So his first loss came to Gilberto Ramirez. Okay. So he was 25-1. No, that's not his first loss then. Who's his first loss? Oh, he must have lost to Ramirez twice. Gilberto Ramirez again. Okay. UD. Then he comes back, and then in majority against Gilberto. Okay, so Gilberto is the bane of his existence. Then Joe Smith, split decision. Okay. So Gilberto and Smith, and who was he beaten? I never heard of this fucking guy. All right, here's what we're going to do. Jesse Hart highlights. Let's see what we got. This is Joe Smith versus Jesse. What is this on? See if I'm going to get flagged. If I do, I can just take it out. Top rank. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to flag me. Fuckers. Prospect of the year. What's this on? Top rank. Good Lord. All right. I can't watch it. Top rank flags everything. Nah, I never saw him fight. But I'm seeing that knockout percentage. Looks like he could throw down. You're hungry? Okay. You mean Benavidez is fighting another bum nobody ever heard of? I'm shocked. Wow. And you sound like you have a Mexican name. You're a hater. Haterade. Yep. You shouldn't be shocked, Bob. You shouldn't be shocked. I'd really like to see Benavidez versus Yard. I guess. Yard's kind of old news. You can't deny he has heart. Boom, boom. Let them fight in Saudi. Hey, Kalia, I got a large pizza and some hard cider. Picnic in the park. If you want to fly to Philly, sure. What's cracking, Michael? What's crack-a-lacking, brother man? Marco sounds possessed when he speaks Bulgarian. Stick to Vanilla Jones Jr., please. Vanilla Jones Jr. Selunimi bulgarskutu dupince. Ti si prostak i si smrъдлив дрислю и да ти еба майката, еби си майката и още един път целуни ми българското дупенце. Now, I meant that to the heart for you, David. Felizad, if you're still in here, you may translate that for him. CJ fries some opinions with garlic and nothing else and serves it up to his women. Either that was a rare bad joke from Clarissa or autocorrect fucked it up. Callum Smith, in a recent interview, said the talks with Benavidez are much further along than a Yard fight. Benavidez as well, in an interview, mentioned Smith being okay. Velizar, if he's still here, he'll translate that for you. And I meant it. All of it. She meant option. Onions. That's still not. Why would a woman want to eat? Like, I don't get it. Meaning, like, you don't know how to cook, or you're trying to gross them out, or Bulgarian doesn't sound like an accent to pick up women. That's because you've never seen Bulgarian women. You don't want to pick them up to begin with. So, works out. Do you feel me? Bulgarian doesn't. All right, where's that? I should have said, let them fight in Egypt. That wouldn't have been bad. She's saying I go hard on 304s. Starve them so they strive for me. What's 304s? Oh, Lord. Straight fire fight. We need Benavidez or Better BF. Yeah. But unfortunately, Michael, Better BF, I think, is rematching. Oh, boy. Marco, when I go for the Mexican, you call me biased. Then when I go against, then you tell the Mexican I should go for them. What the fuck, bro? I'm probably joking when I call you biased. I'm joking. I'm joking both times, really. I don't remember if you're one of the guys that always go for the Mexican fighters. I think it is you. And by the way, Benavidez isn't a Mexican full-blooded, so a lot of Mexicans don't consider him full-blooded Mexican. You might be one of them. So you're being racist. See? See? Huh? You see? Huh? Huh? I'm trying to find the...
Got him!
No, I got him back. Shut up, Mo. I know, Robert's getting mad. Who is Benavidez supposed to fight? No one wants to fight him. That's true. Who's he supposed to fight? There's literally nobody there for him to fight. His last fight had to be a 12-0 guy or whatever he was. 12. He's scraping the bottom of the barrel. He's cleaned the division out. And the only two that we'd want to see him fight, unfortunately, are tied up fighting each other in the third fight that, let's be honest, we don't want to see. 304 is a hoe. Oh. Why is it a 304? Because it rhymes with hoe? Nah, Moses should stick to actual heavyweights. Those guys shouldn't be moving up. I love David, but he might make the worst business decisions. Dude is turning down Turkey. Who did he turn down? King KO, what up? Oh, damn. Damn. I disagree with that, but okay. Why did David leave 168? He could be fighting Charlo instead of Plant and Billy Pacheco. Benavidez will have the winner of Bivol and Artur soon. Those are Canelo gays that are butthurt. Benavidez hurt their feelings, and their favorite fighter says he disrespected him. Okay. Samson. David's fault for moving to a dead division. True that. David Benavidez with Arslan Makamudov. That's a good one. What up, Yova? Mimic Mage. Or Mimi, whatever that is. Oh, thank you. Who the fuck looks at calculators anymore? Let's see. Let's see. Let's peep it. Let's peep it. Not really, but maybe on an old school calculator. Exactly. Clarissa is just saying, sure. I want to see better BF. Why? Oh, boy. Go ahead, Alberto. It's a fucking question. Benavidez versus Inoue. Yeah, we see that. I said in pagers, or like the old school shit, yeah. Most fighters move up in weight like Benavidez did because they can't sit around waiting for fights. That won't happen. Well, also not just that, their bodies develop. They get their man strength. Boobies. Okay. Super Glazer. Okay, here we go. Man, oh man. BF loves prone bone position. With each stroke, he continues to say, I love you, Bill. You know, I sent him the picture, I sent him sent him to text him this the other day. He said something like "fuck those guys" or something. Garcia, name me good fights. Okay. CJ versus Alberto on the under. See, they're not fucking with each other, Clarissa, so do not instigate this, please. There's no need for your instigations. Online aliases. But David is literally sitting around waiting for... I know. Okay. There we go. I'm watching Impractical Jokers and I'm looking at you, Mad. That's mean, but okay. Marco, do you think you could currently beat Sergio Umora? No. I don't think I could beat... I don't know. Oh, shit. First off, Pork Chop, appreciate you. I didn't even read what you said, but let me first give you... Let me give you your proper thanks.
Thank you. Come again.
Appreciate you for the extra crispy 10-piece. Pork Chop says, this is why it made no sense that the WBC was trying to mandate that fight knowing a trilogy was coming. Benavidez was going to be left out regardless. Yes. Agreed. Stupid. Not like the fights were even fucking exciting. I'm sorry, I didn't find Beterbiev and Bivol particularly exciting. First one, a little, because we didn't know. The second one's like, okay, well, this is just the replay. Neither guy could hurt each other. It was kind of boring, and it was hard to score because there was a lot of like, I'm with you. Vlogs. You mean E-Rock. Claymore Rain. Strong Island is up in this bitch. Strong Island. I mean, you live in like Tennessee now or some shit, right, Claymore? But I feel you. Isn't Blue's from Long Island too, right? He lives in Long Island. Isn't he from Long Island? Or he maybe was from Brooklyn or some shit, but then grew up mostly in Long Island. There's something like that. I forget. I bet he was very pissed off. People try to debate, instantly mutes you and blocks you, then starts talking shit. And Darren, you defend yourself while you're already blocked. I mean, I don't know. I don't, beef with him because that's my man, but I fell asleep during Bivol. I'm telling you. Left them at Walt Disney World. Salute. Tatted up, Jay. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Salute, big dog. Yeah, Blue in the... He's in the island, but is he from the island? Didn't he grow up in the island too, Blue? Yes, fighters beating the crap out of each other. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. I'm going to start this other live just to get the alert out for those who didn't get it. And then I will end it. Let's enter the studio. Now you guys might get an alert saying I'm live, which, as you obviously know, I am. All right. And boom. I'm going to go live. Let's see what happens. Now, how do I change this shit saying my hair is also fake? I don't know how to change that. Although it's not there, though. You can't see it. Okay, that's probably why. All right. Let's see if this alert goes out. Anyway, let me keep going down to you peoples. Who we got? Let Clay join the panel if he wants to. You want to jump on, Claymore? You can. Tell me if you want to jump on. Yeah, if anything, Bivol's combinations more is transitioning. Yep. I do think Benavidez would fight that bomb. And maybe get there. Yeah. Yeah, let me know, Clay, if you want to jump in. Not a bad idea. What up, Mikhail? Oh, big shout to my man, Pork Chizop.
Thank you. Come again.
Pork Chop says, good fights, just difficult to score. Well, yes, I suppose. All right, let me end this stream. Did the alert go out for it? No, it still didn't. The fuck? Stupid. All right. Salute. Shoot me the link. Okay. I got to do that. On IG, I suppose. Right? Because I don't think I have your number. I don't have your number, I don't believe. Claymore Rain. Claymore Rain. All right. I just sent it to you on IG, Claymore. You're the man. Appreciate you, CJ, for the Cash App. You are the best ever. I may call up soon one of the nights at work. Yo, Clarissa, if you do that, that's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. Epic. The whole community will love it. I hope you bring the comedy, too. Point where I can't stand Haney anymore, then he's moving very suspect. Why do you hate Haney? I get Bill maybe being a little rubbing people the wrong way, but what does Devin ever do? Benavidez versus Hart. I think Hart, I got to watch Hart, but based on what I just saw in his box rec, 80% knockout. The 3 losses he had all seem super close. Hey, man, but that's high risk, low reward. High risk, low reward. Right? You're fighting somebody, and Benavidez, who is a tall knockout puncher, who nobody knows, who hasn't really fought. I fought a couple big names, but nobody knows, and will bring you way less money. I'd rather him fight Berlanga. He'll get double, triple the amount fighting Berlanga than this guy, and way less threat. Because what happens when you lose to somebody nobody ever heard of? That you're making a lower, nah. I ain't into it. Yeah, I want Clarissa on my channel too. Coming in June. Okay. What are you going to call it? Boxing with C Jisms. Boxing W/C.Jisms. Little gay. Little gay, but I like it. I like it. I like it. Strong Island in the house.
What's good, Marco?
What up? Damn, I like that background, man. You make my shit look like a
we trying to
you
get
make
it
my shit
together,
look
man.
ratchet. Look how dope that looks.
Man, we putting it together, man. We putting it together. We putting it together. I just got home a little early. I worked a little bit early today. When I came home, I seen you was on the show. What's good with you, man? Long time no hear.
I know, man. I've been doing a lot of my own shit, so I haven't jumped on you guys as you basically co-host with Blue all the time, right?
Oh yeah, pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. You guys. Yeah. Now, is this Blue or is this somebody?
Where?
See, right here. Here's the problem, though. Is this him? Because I had somebody.
Yeah, that is Blue. That is Blue. Yup.
But I had somebody come in with this exact one, and it wasn't him because he started saying some gay shit.
Oh
afterwards.
damn! I don't know. Then
it was a troll. I'm not sure if that's him. This exact one came in.
We got this story himself,
and I was like, "Yo, what up?"
Yeah, that might not be Blue. It might not be Blue. It's not Blue.
Him.
He wouldn't have said the historian.
Yeah, it's not him. It's this dude, the dude who keeps trying to imitate BFTB.
Oh.
This guy's, he's funny. It's a little weird that he's so fixated on BF, but he says he did, let me show you. I sent it to BF. He has a profile picture of BF and Bill Haney kissing in the mouth.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, super, and it looks real. And it's obviously not, but I'm trying to find it. Where is it? It's up here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Look at that. Zoom in on that.
Oh, wow.
And he used to come in my room and he'd have this profile picture. He'd go, "Hey, Marco, daddy, clap my cheeks." If gay, but funny. And then he came in another time with just a BF's face, but with makeup, like in drag. And he was asking people to clap.
So he's really like a whole graphic designer type of dude. Like
he wants BF to come off as gay as possible. Like that's his goal in life, is to make BF sound gay. I don't know why.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, man. So what's popping? What you guys were at Times Square? Because I heard that BF got the credential, but he didn't have one for you, so he didn't go.
Who, BF didn't go? Who, Blue?
Not BF. I'm sorry, Blue. I heard that Blue got the credential for Times Square, but he didn't get two. So since you couldn't go, you guys just chilled in the hotel.
No. I got the credentials. Who was in
You
there?
guys were at the Times Square fight.
Oh no, in the fight. No, not the fight. The weigh-ins.
That's what I'm talking about. In
all
the
that.
fight.
No.
Yeah,
So we was at the hotel. Yeah, we built at the hotel. Exactly. Yeah. We didn't get in the fight.
Yeah, because he got a credential. He got one, right?
Right. He was able to go in there, but he hung back so we could do the live.
Yo, he should have bounced past me that credential if he wasn't using it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, look, bro. I don't know. Hey, bro. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I was just happy, you know what I mean? He built and did the live with me, you know what I mean? I was like, man, that's what's up, because I'd have left you. You'd have been parking lot pipping. I'd have been in I like, Blue, you would have been out you'd have been in the parking lot pimping, player. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd have been letting you know what you know what I mean, how it went. I don't know if I would have missed out on that. So I appreciated him definitely showing me some love, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he didn't give anybody the credential. He just kept it. It was like whatever.
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I didn't see, because maybe he did too. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe
you know
that's
what?
the reason.
I don't even know if it would work. Like, let's say he gave it to me, right? And I show up there and they know I'm not him. Maybe they wouldn't even allow it.
Possibly.
But you've been to fights. They don't. Oh, they do check IDs, don't they? Sometimes
they check ID sometimes, but I think he probably would have. Yeah, he would have translated it probably in a way where like maybe you would have been part of Blue Blood Sports Media, kind of. I don't know.
Right. Maybe I could have come. Right. I could have come. Yeah. Because I think, see, the thing with this, it wasn't who's there. It was more like it only could have a certain amount of people. So maybe they don't care if I'm him. It just could only be one, though. You know what I mean?
100%.
I don't know. Yeah, I watched. I was there. I met up with BF and Drew. You know Drew Titan?
Yeah, I saw him out there too.
Yeah, I met up with them briefly before, and then I just ended up watching almost all the fights on my phone at the hotel that BF was staying in. We were chilling in the bar area. There was like a little bar.
Damn, so we missed each other like a bunch then, because we were with BFTB for we were there at the weigh-ins.
I didn't get credentialed. I didn't even apply for the weigh-in stuff. I'm bad with that because I don't know how you guys. Well, Blue, I guess, is a different story. But like you, when you go on under your own platform, like I'm not.
I never even tried to do it. I went in with Blue straight up.
Okay, so I do it on my own, but like I don't get the credentials. I don't know. So many times I'll see the weigh-in, I'll be like, "Oh shit, that's today," and I didn't even know about it, so I wasn't able to apply. So with this, I didn't apply to anything except the fight, and of course, they didn't hit me off.
Right.
But it was I found the whole event. I didn't really like it. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, I had a good time because it was more of like a whole week experience for me, right? So I had a good time. The fight itself, the event, it was lackluster, man. It wasn't that. I mean, I just think it was a logistical nightmare for them to try to put this together. It was one of those things that looked good on paper, you know what I mean? But when it came time to like actually put it together, I think they found that it was way more complicated than they thought it was going to be. There was a lot of high, like diplomatic type people. There was CIA and all types of like, high level security out there. And I think when it came down to securing and protecting all the important people that was in the event, they found that it was going to be impossible, damn near impossible to do with allowing everybody in Times Square to have access and you be able to, because if you can look in, you could shoot in. You can, like, you know what I mean? If you can look in.
Yes, you could throw shit, I guess.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You could be the people who didn't buy the tickets, who are watching for free, were going to be able to, interfere a lot easier. When the way they had it set up at first, it was just a fence, right? I mean, literally, like I could hop the fence, right? So people going to try to stop me. They're going to try, but I was picturing like, let's just say close to damn near 1,000 people, 500 to 1,000 people surrounding this whole little space in Times Square. Did you see it? Did you get out to Times Square and actually see how it looked?
Yeah, I watched the main event from Times Square on one of the stupid fucking jumbotrons out there.
Okay.
I was there. Yeah, I watched all the fights except for the main event. I watched just in the hotel lounge. Then for the last fight, I'm like, but I grew up. You could walk to my childhood fucking apartment in 10 minutes from Times Square. Like that's how close. Hell's Kitchen's right there. So I grew up there. So I know what it's all about. So I'm like, fuck it, let me go. I know what Times Square is about. But so I went, and it was just, and I called it. I told everybody, like, boxing is not that big of a sport in America as it used to be. Nobody gives a fuck. Like in America, it's like, and I know that's horrible to say for us because this is what we do, but it's true.
The truth. Yeah,
it's the truth. And I'm like, I'm telling you, there's not going to be any more people than usual in Times Square for this. And I looked at the numbers, and literally, it was the same amount of people for any average Friday night in Times Square went through. Nobody gave a fuck. I was sitting.
It was just another thing going on in Times Square. It was just another thing.
And I'm down there, and I'm watching it on one jumbotron, but Times Square has numerous screens all over the place. With a commercial here, an ad there. It's so much shit going on. I was sitting next to nobody knew. Nobody was even really talking about the fight. Even like when Ryan got dropped, you just heard a very slight like, ooh. It wasn't even like a real. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But
I think, like I said, on paper, I think Turkey picture Times Square, you get a visual understanding of Times Square, and you're thinking, put a boxing match, on paper, the imagination can run wild when you got that budget and you can just do crazy stuff. You start entertaining some crazy things. But I mean, look, man, I gave him props for even going for that. To even try to do that, to come out on the other side of it with all the events went through, no problems. It was a little boring.
All it did was slash the tires of the rematch. That's all it did. The whole thing slashed the tires of Ryan Devin rematch.
It did seem like a little bit of I don't know, man. For the first time, for the most part, I've celebrated Turkey's presence in the boxing space. I appreciate somebody who's willing to allocate those kind of resources behind boxing, and even more so like in America, wanting to invest in making the big fights. But for the first time, it was like, okay, so here's a con. One of there's pros obviously, but the con is, the fighters, paying them that much, giving them the fights that they're going to fight next, and the fight they're going to fight next, and you got to imagine that Bill and all those guys were probably a little focused on the Ryan fight to the point to where they were trying to protect it, right? Like, don't lose this fight by any means, just win this fight and get to it. Just kind of takes away a lot of that vested interest that fighters normally have going into these fights.
I'm with you. Like, like at least Devin won. You know what I mean? He looked very very like lackluster doing it, but at least he won. But Ryan Ryan looked way worse. I mean, even if Ryan would have won, which I don't even see, he threw no punches. Like, at least Devin was throwing some punches while this shit was whack. And I was worried Skull fight might do the same thing for the Crawford fight. I was worried Skull might beat Canelo or make him look like shit, and then kind of deflate that as well.
Yeah, I don't think that deflated the Crawford fight though. Kind of looks like it made the fight seem a little bit more competitive. Like me, I'm on Crawford's side. I think Crawford can win this. I'm rooting for Crawford to win this. I've always felt that way, even when most people didn't. But it did seem like at the end of the performance that, although it was lackluster and just trash to watch, all of a sudden, when they did that face-off, people were like, you know what, Crawford can mess around and win this fight. So now it's just become a little bit more competitive, I think, off the back end of that performance.
Well, I don't know if but I was at an event in March. It was a Ring Magazine event. They were filming. It was my man. I'm cool with Shaquille O'Neal, and he invited me because he was a part of it. But it was an event where Crawford and Canelo sat down in front of each other, and they were just being interviewed, asking about their fight. Dana White was there, Crawford, Canelo, Shaq was there, and they had Tom Brady there for some reason. Turkey was just including celebrities in this, building it. So I was there. So the point of saying that is I met Crawford and I met Canelo, and I was shocked at what I saw. Terrence Crawford was not only bigger height, but he was bigger width-wise. He was a bigger dude than Canelo in person.
Just in general.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm saying like noticeably. Like they Canelo, to me, when I just saw him, he looked like he's about 160.
Yeah.
Crawford looked about 180. Like, it was a significant, and also, like, I say this a lot, the skeletal structure, like Crawford's head, because there's no fat on the head. He just had a bigger dome. Like, he just looked like a bigger guy. A little. But that threw me for a loop because
like Crawford's not a it sounds like you're basically saying like Crawford's not the little guy everybody thinks he is because
No,
he's at 135,
not in
140.
not in person, and I don't know if he just bulked up. But again, it didn't look bulky. Because that's why I'm saying his head. You know, you can't unless you're taking steroids, which he's not. I
Right.
don't think.
Right.
You can't make your bones bigger. Like the dude just looked like a bigger guy. And it threw everything for a loop because you know that was the main advantage here, right? Canelo size, size. Ugh. So now I got it 50-50 based on that.
Wow. Yeah, because outside of the size, Crawford can
has
fight. He can fight. Like that's what people, you know what I mean? Like outside of the, you know, it was the same thing with the Errol Spence fight a little bit, where it was like outside of me wondering Errol's strength and size, you just assumed he was going to be the stronger guy in the ring with Crawford, the puncher in the ring. And I remember that shoulder shrug, right? I remember when they kind of got in that little clinch and Crawford kind of like threw him off. Soon that happened like the second round, I think it was, or maybe like towards the end of the first round.
Pushed him off, yeah.
As soon as that happened, I said, "Oh, it's a wrap." Immediately, I said that. Before it even got bad, I'm like, "That's it. It's over." I know Crawford is a better boxer than Errol. The thing that I was wondering about was the power.
I was more like when I saw Errol's, he had that real heavy eyelids. He looked like he was a little high.
Yeah,
he was speaking slowly, and I'm like, okay. And I remember thinking that he looked weak, right? But I did a video on the fight recently, actually. Just a random video of a dominant. And Errol was throwing really hard punches, but where he looked weak was his punch resistance.
Right.
But that, like, so the shots, like that first jab that landed, it didn't look that hard, but it dropped him.
Right.
So then I start wondering, was he weak or was Crawford just that strong? Because if he was weak, then he would have been throwing weak, and he wasn't throwing weak punches. He was throwing some hard shots.
Right.
I don't know. I thought he was a little off. But I don't think it would have made a difference in the fight because it was such a dominant victory. But I thought Errol was a little off. Like I heard, you know, the rumors of he might have been on painkillers for his rib injury, or he might have smoked up for his rib injury, weed. I don't know, but he looked a little off to me.
Yeah, he looked like he might have been depleted too a little bit. Like maybe he didn't rehydrate well.
Right. Well, just like Tank looked a little off to me against Roach, but the difference is that was such a close fight. Whereas, so I think in the rematch, if Tank isn't off, I got him winning. But Bud and Spence wasn't close at all. So even if he was off, I don't think it would have made a difference. He was just a little off. You know, he was this much off, but he got beat by this much. So it's like, eh.
Yeah. I think once that strength thing went out the door, once it showed its ugly face, I'm like, that's it. That means I literally knew at that point. I'm like, yeah, bro, Terrence is gonna literally be walking him down now. He's gonna be pushing. You're gonna see either Errol on his back foot, which is not like him, or he's gonna walk into a lot of problems. He's just gonna keep walking into
the way mine was more when Crawford absorbed the punches that landed at first. He was like, he even said it after. Remember, he was kind of like, it was on Rogan. He's like, yeah, I got hit. And I'm like, that's it? Like, that's what people talk? I saw that. Like Spence's punches, you know, just bounced off him like he got a Kevlar chin.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Well. Yeah, see? Look at this. Claymore not playing. Your shit is.
Oh, HLD. Yeah.
You make me look like a welfare case.
Nah, never that.
Yeah, you do. You make me look like I got food stamps. Like I use my food stamps to fucking do this.
Like you in the laundry room or something, right? Like you in the laundry room and you got a little corner. Wifey let you get a little corner in the laundry room.
I got the whole. I'll show you right now. Check it out. This is my whole. I work out over there.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my whole little downstairs area.
Like a little man cave.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I just, but I didn't see, I don't own this house. I'm just renting. Otherwise I maybe would have dipped it out.
Right.
So that's, but whatever. It's better that I used to sit on the couch all the time. So this is an upgrade.
Nah, it looks good to me, man. It looks good to me.
Yeah,
man.
I'm just saying your shit is dope. So
yeah,
we got the same belts, but mine's just all up. I look like a dirty, messy college kid the way I threw my shit behind me. You fucking planted your shit on the wall, hung it up beautifully, positioned it. Good for you.
Yeah, I tried, man. I'm trying.
You had all the belts. I had the Ring magazine, but I did a raffle and I gave it away. Although I should keep the Ring here because the Ring magazine belt, I believe, is the dopest belt.
That's the one. That's why it's on top, baby. That's the one. That's what they all working toward and trying to get to.
What's up, Johnny? When 165 miles per hour Spence is Bud's best win. The hell
Oh,
does
we
that
about
mean?
to throw shots at Bud.
Is that what that is? I don't get what that means.
Yeah,
165 miles.
he's basically saying that the accident that
Ah,
damaged Errol Spence is the best win that Bud has. Bud gets the I don't. It's true, right? Like what he said there in that statement is true, but it's just one of those odd test situations, and I think that's why it's important for Bud to fight this Canelo Alvarez fight, right? Like he understands, he just always been on the wrong side of negotiations when it came to making the biggest fights, and he got kind of iced out a little bit, so he didn't get an opportunity to fight those fights, and that doesn't it's the same thing, right? But it's not like he ducked those fights or he cherry picked and avoided and moved around those fights. But you fight who you can fight, right? Who you can, who's available to you, and who was available to him. He did the work.
true.
You know what I mean? He did the work.
We got a question for you here. I'm going to step away for 1 second. Hold it down and answer the question, please. This is for you.
No doubt, no doubt. Claymore, do you think people ignore that Canelo? Okay, what do people ignore that Canelo is a blown up fighter at that weight versus natural? Okay, let me try to break this down a little better. Our Attorney Bell says, I'm going to put the words in. I think that spell check ruined for you, right? It said, Claymore, what do you think people ignore that Canelo? What do you think people ignore that Canelo's a blown up fighter at that weight versus natural? Attorney Bailey, do me a favor and type it up in the chat the way you want it to, because I'm having a hard time kind of understanding. Claymore, what do you think people ignore that Canelo?
Why
Do you think people ignore that Canelo's a blown up fighter at that word right there almost threw me, a blown up fighter at that weight?
They don't. Oh, they do.
What do you mean that he's blown up? What do you mean by that?
Well, I
see what he's saying. He's basically saying that he's not a 168 pounder. He's really a 154 pounder.
I think so. Well, I think he's more of a middleweight, and he recently said that when he finally came clean about why he won't fight Benavidez. He was like, look, this guy comes in, 25, 30 pounds heavier, blah, blah, blah. He's like, and I'm really a 60 pounder, like to begin with. He's like, so I think he did admit it finally, but why do people ignore that? Because he's so successful, maybe?
No, that's not why. They let's be honest, right? They ignore it because the boxing space, this goes back, right? The boxing space has had a lot of indifference to choose a better word, maybe, I don't know. But when it comes to the business of Terrence Crawford, you either like him or you're a fan of him or you hate his guts, right? You just don't like the way he negotiated with Errol. You don't like the way the Errol fight ended up turning out. You blame him for a lot of stuff, right? So they've been shooting shots at this Canelo Alvarez fight from the beginning, right? Like this was a travesty. This is a nonsense fight. Don't make any sense. I mean, I can remember why doesn't Terrence go fight David Benavidez first? Why doesn't he, the crazy fights, not understanding or taking into consideration that Terrence Crawford picked Canelo Alvarez based on the physical attributes, right? Understanding like that guy's not really a 168-pound fighter. He fights up there. He competes at a high level. He does what he does. But he's not that guy. David Benavidez is a big 168 pounder. You know what I mean? David Morrell, big dudes. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant, all these guys, you know what I mean, are like true 168-pound fighters, whereas Canelo Alvarez is the exception to the rule. And it's an opportunity for Terrence Crawford to kind of take advantage of those things because this is actually a more even fight than the boxing space wanted to realize. Like you said, when you saw them standing in there, when you saw them on that event you was at, you realized, you was like, damn, you would have thought it would have been a different aesthetically looking situation. But when you actually looked at it, maybe you're getting a little bit more of some perspective from Terrence Crawford's side of the conversation now, where Terrence is like, nah, I'm gonna fight this dude, bro. I know. Nah, line that up. Even Terrence drank the Kool-Aid for a little bit because I remember when he got asked about this a little before he announced that he wanted to make the fight, he was like, nah, I believe in weight classes. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember, right?
No, he got gassed quick because when he did the Spence, and you can't blame him. Like he took one of the most evenly matched fights. At least that's what we all thought, and turned it into one of the biggest mismatches we've ever seen in mega fight history.
Right.
So, hey, man, he get gas. Big shout to my man, Mo.
Thank you. Come again.
Part of being a champ is not drinking and driving. Ooh, Mo. Mo.
Listen, I had that argument a
Mo.
long time ago. I that was one of the things that made me public enemy #1 in the boxing space, right? Talking about that, right? Just the lifestyle. That's something that separates Bud from a lot of the boxing spaces and the Floyd Mayweathers of the game. And you know what I mean? Like
Focus.
these fighters that refuse to drink, smoke, live this
Focus
clean lifestyle.
to the point of obsession. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And when it comes to the biggest challenge of your life, those little intangibles make the biggest difference. That's what separates you. When you get two great fighters in the ring, then it's going to be the little things that separate them, right? When they're both great in their own right, what's going to be the difference maker on the evening when they fight each other? It's going to be the little things.
Why do people ignore that Bud's been a weight bully his whole career? So I initially would have said, fuck you talking about. No. But I've been hearing rumors. So we had this guy come on my show not too long after Canelo fight was announced. And I'm sitting there being like, Bud's great, but Canelo's just too big. And, you know, Canelo has one of the best chins we've ever seen, so Bud can't hurt him. And he hits super hard at super middleweight, let alone if he's fighting somebody that's, for all intents and purposes, Bud is a welterweight. You know, at 37, he decides to go. I mean, come on. You know, you get your main weight in your early 30s in boxing. That's when you've stabilized. But then this guy comes in. He goes, yo, I know Bud. I have him on my phone. I'm from Omaha. You know, I grew up with him, whatever. He goes, what if I told you that Bud walks around at 185? I go, what? He goes, what if I told you that? I go, well, then maybe I would not think he has a size disadvantage. The next day, Bud puts out that picture. You remember where he stands on the scale? Yep. The next day, I was like, oh, this guy was fucking for real. And then, of course, I met him a few weeks later and I saw him. So if that's the case, then that's a crazy, I mean, he was fighting at 135 when he started. How if he's even fighting at 47 for all these years, you're telling me he's dropping 40 pounds every camp? That's insane.
No, I'm sure he's, I don't believe that he's walking around 185. I believe Bud is a little bit more disciplined than that to understand the weight, you know, that he's a competitor. And he's gonna. I picture him walking around something closer, like maybe like 165.
No, I just saw him, and he's definitely, I would say, 175, 180.
Well, now he's getting ready for the Canelo fight, right? So he's allowing.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I mean, but I'm saying if he's competing at 147, he's probably making it a point to be a little more disciplined with his diet. You know what I mean? But I mean, who knows? My thing with the whole weight bully thing, though, Marco, is you hit the scale, you make weight. Then you get the pros and the cons of fighting down there. If you cut the weight right, the pro is you're a bigger, stronger guy on the night of the fight. You cut the weight bad, the con is you're a depleted fighter the night of the fight. It's still a skill set. It's still a discipline. I don't get outside of that. You make it on a scale. You're in compliance with what you need to be in compliance with on the night of the fight. Then at that point, let the best man win. That's where I'm at with it.
Who do you think? I'm doing a poll right now. Who wins between Bud and Canelo? What's your pick?
I'm with Bud. I just think he's a special fighter, man.
You got Bud.
Yeah, Bud's just one of those fighters. You're gonna have to beat him to show me you could beat him. I'm not going against him. I'm not picking against him.
Okay, Bud I'm doing the poll right now. Takes it too skilled, and then I'll do a third one, which will just be draw. All right, boom. Poll is started. Please, let's see what you guys think. Oh, hold on. First, let me hit my man. C. Jisms. Wait, hold on. I know that sounds awful. CJ Rich. Let me hit you with first your favorite. Let me hit you with your favorite soundbite. Let me find it. Here it is.
Open your fucking ears, jackass.
All right. And then let me hit you with the customary thanks.
Thank you. Come again.
You see how I always racially have to do this Indian shit? When I probably shouldn't do that.
Thank you. Come again.
All right. Dude, so confident in Canelo. I'm throwing out another rack on Crawford. Do it through my channel. And Marco knows I let him hold the bread like a bakery. Oh, you got me, Betty Crocker out this bitch. Little Debbie.
Yeah.
Don't gotta trust me. Damn.
Listen,
you got
man.
Crawford. CJ's on some Crawford shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see who's in Mexican boxing says obviously this guy's biased. I was asked to make a choice, right? I picked.
Well, in case you
I'm
haven't,
sure if I would have said Canelo, you'd have been like, I'm a smart guy.
in case you haven't, right, deduced from his screen name, he's a little biased
Right.
toward the Mexican fighters.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Little
It is
bit.
what it is.
Bud
It is
gave
what it is. I
Madrimov a
respect it.
12-round boxing lesson. Mo, let's see what Claymore thinks. I did not see that as any kind of a lesson. I saw that as actually a close fight. What'd you think?
Yes. I think, man, okay, so I gave Bud a lot of respect for that fight. And I also gave Madrimov a lot of respect in that fight. It was a competitive fight. But it was a fight that, to me, boosted Terrence Crawford to me as far as the kind of fighter he was. Because I know he prepared for a different Madrimov. He really did. He prepared to be the smaller guy in the ring, to deal with the puncher, the guy who's going to be trying to put pressure on him. And Madrimov turned into this irky-jerky,
pogo stick. He was on a pogo stick the whole time.
Yeah, a pogo stick, kind of like this junior middleweight Lomachenko, you know what I mean, in the ring. And Bud had to really adjust to that. And you saw him. And when he did adjust, though, he did handle him handedly. Once he got an understanding and a control of the rhythm and what Madrimov was on, he you know what I mean, he got right in there, and he showed me that he can
differently,
adjust.
man. I saw a close fight that I guess Bud edged it out, but I've never seen Bud get hit that much with repeated straight right leads. Boop, 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 repeated. Swallowing them like Yoshi in Super Mario, swallowing those bombs like Yoshi. He was. I mean, is it just, did you not see
that? He got hit a lot. He got hit a lot in that fight, without a doubt.
They didn't hurt him. Okay, true. But they hit him.
100%. That's what made me respect it, because I understood. I saw the dog in him. I saw the ability, to absorb punishment, to adjust, to stay in the fight. He didn't run. He didn't get on his bicycle. He didn't. He tried to make it a fight, and because of that, he paid. He paid the price a little bit. Same way you guys kind of wanted Devin to be with Jose Ramirez, right?
Word.
He didn't take the Devin route. He didn't stay on his jab and force Madrimov to make something. He fought. So I liked the fight. I thought it was a great fight, but it was very competitive. I agree with you 100%.
It was. Daisy Sanchez, are you a female, first of all? Because we like to acknowledge all the female community members, because there's a small percentage of them, but we like to see it grow. But either way, if you're not, no disrespect. Maybe I'm reading the name wrong. That fight was so boring that people started walking out in the middle of the fight. I found it kind of boring, yeah. We've had a lot of boring super fights lately. Kind of like, you know what I'm saying? We get excited, then the fight starts, and it's like, Madrimov fight was super close till the end. Madrimov style going, that's what I'm saying, Mikhail.
Yeah.
Tank Davis boxer. We know who you like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me go down here. Let's go to Mo.
He got hit a lot. Yeah. Listen,
Fighters,
man, people get hit.
They do. Fighters win fights, not stats. Use your eyes, not CompuBox. Sometimes CompuBox is way off. Sometimes it's on point. Like, I remember Bradley versus Pacquiao. I didn't think Pacquiao, I thought that was a close fight, but people were like, even the stats were like, Pacquiao is the biggest robbery ever. I'm like, I thought
it was a robbery. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was a robbery.
I didn't. I remember watching it, and like they would show the replay. They're like, look at the Pacquiao shots. And I'm like, I'm seeing Bradley clip him in the replay, and they're just, I should watch it again. I remember.
I gotta watch it again. I was in a bar, and I never watched it a second time. I was in a bar. I was definitely having a good time. I was in Florida at the time. I remember watching the fight, but it just felt at the end of the fight, it was definitely a what? When the decision went to him, it was definitely like, wait, what? So, I mean, that's how I felt that night. I got to watch it again. I got to watch. Hey, what? So I saw people talking about the David Benavidez situation.
How
do you think it's aging? The movement of the WBC, elevating him to a full WBC champion. Him turning away and moving away from whatever it was that I'm hearing now. I guess that Turkey was maybe offering him like Alcatraz or something like that, and he didn't want to. That's the reason why he didn't take the fight, or was that just
what fight exactly did he not take?
So the story was that when David Benavidez went to Saudi Arabia, right? Turkey invited him out there. That Turkey offered him, two prizes, right? One being the winner, Benavidez, if he won, right? You would get the winner of that fight for undisputed. But if Bivol won, there'd be a trilogy, and I guess Turkey offered him Caleb Smith, right? As okay, if that doesn't work out, we're going to offer you Caleb Smith. This is according to what Samson Leakowitz said, right? Said it was a lucrative offer, but they walked away from it. We know what ended up happening, right? So they walked away from it. So I guess David Benavidez did an interview the other day when he was basically stated that he didn't want to fight in Alcatraz. You know, he wants to fight in front of, you know, his people in Vegas. But I don't know if he was saying it like that's what Turkey offered him, or if he was saying it off the strength of he didn't want to fight outside of Vegas.
I think first off, big shout to my man Trick, aka Anthony. What up, Anthony? I don't know, man. I don't think Benavidez has been made much of a priority by Turkey as of yet anyway. I think he's focusing on the other two light heavyweights, you know, the champions for the undisputed. So I don't. If Turkey wants to make something happen, he'll make it happen. You know what I mean? Like I tend not to get involved in those conversations because we don't know what really happened. Like we don't know what he was offered. You know, because I've been around this game, and I grew up around a lot of celebrities being from New York City and all that. Like, and no, the reason I bring that up, not to brag, but like you see shit in the paper, and then I know what happened personally from work. And so many times what we see in the media does not align with what the truth is. So I just don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see the link that that you put out there. Who put the link out there? Mike
Mikhail
B. I looked at the link. But yeah, once again, a twist on words. What I saw in the interview, I did not see him say Turkey offered him Alcatraz, right? Like when he was speaking on it in the interview, in the conversation with Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman, he was basically stating that he didn't want to be part of gimmicky situations. They were talking about the Fatal Fury situation, right? You know, I mean, it seemed like they were just talking about Turkey's whole outlook on production and not wanting to be part. But he did say, I don't want to fight in Alcatraz. So I don't know if he was saying that he was offered that or not.
Also, and I'm looking at this link, and I always tell my community, the source matters. Not the source magazine, but the source of. So I just look Boxing 24 News. Okay. They're not. Right. Who are they, first off? Like, they're a boxing. Second, there is not one quote out of Benavidez's mouth in that article. There's not one video of him saying it. So I don't believe it until, and I'm not saying, Mikhail, you're wrong. I'm not even saying that this magazine is wrong or whatever, this publication, but I've seen so many honest mistakes. Like dudes heard or think they're, until I hear Benavidez say it, and they didn't even quote him. There wasn't even an actual quote of what he said. So I don't believe
I
that.
watched the whole interview. I didn't walk away from that interview feeling like that. You feel me?
Right.
I didn't hear that, like how they're delivering it. So I didn't know if he maybe said something else later on. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I didn't hear it. Yeah.
Trick, my brother.
Thank you. Come again.
For the extra crispy 2-piece, sizzling, side of barbecue sauce. My brother for life, which is me.
Crispy.
And salute Claymore. I like your work.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. No, but so what I was saying about David, right? I was saying, how do you think the decision aged from your perspective right now, seeing this? I don't know if you're like, I can paint it for you so you can kind of see it from like what I'm seeing as far as moving parts are concerned. As far as, so David Benavidez gets elevated to a WBC full champion. We know that rubbed Turkey a certain way, right? Like he didn't like the way that looked aesthetically. He wanted this trilogy. He wanted this to build up into this next fight between Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. So that didn't rub him the right way. David Benavidez, it's not his fault. This is what Mauricio Sulaiman decided to do. He's the interim champion. You know, naturally he should be elevated if the belt's going to be stripped from Dimitri Bivol less than a month after he actually got the belt, right? That being said, now what's happening? Well, there's rumors out here that Caleb Smith and Anthony Yarde may be or may not be negotiating, or, you know, they might be trying to put them on a Ring Magazine card and have them fight each other. David Benavidez sitting with this WBC title now and also trying to get a fight with Caleb Smith or Anthony Yarde. He's trying to defend his WBC light heavyweight title, but now he's kind of like on the opposite side of the street from Turkey, right? Like maybe a low-key a bidding war that when you talk about money, you don't want to probably get in a bidding war with Turkey Al-Sheikh. So what's his option if it's not Caleb, if it's not Anthony Yardy. Well, Jose Benavidez Sr. says they want to go up to cruiserweight and go fight Zurdo Ramirez, right? 25 pounds. Go up from the light heavyweight division up to the heavyweight. Now they're going to play that game. So now you're going to go up there and now you're going to cut weight, come back. What I mean, how is the decision aging?
Well, he has no choice because he can't fight the two top dogs that have the belts, Benavidez and he, because they're fighting each other. He's beaten everybody else. At super middle, not at light heavy. I don't think that's. I'm torn. I don't think his decision. He can't fight the top guys, champions. So that's not his fault, right? They're off the table. They're fighting each other for a third time now. So moving up, I like it, but I don't like it. I like it because you win the cruiserweight belt and you come back down. Somebody like Canelo now might fight you. Somebody, because now the cruiserweight belt to be on the line. Better be, because if he holds it, it's on the line. You can be below the weight limit for a certain division. You just can't be above it. So he could fight Canelo at 68 and have the light heavyweight, the cruiserweight, and the super middleweight all be up for fucking grabs in that one fight. So by that token, it's a great move. But then you look at the other side of it. Going up 25 pounds, going back down, Roy Jones, it can damage you for life. So I don't know. I think Benavidez is more likely to be able to fluctuate with the weight better than Roy because Benavidez is a big man. He's younger, way younger than Roy was when Roy did it, way less mileage. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I kind of like it's going to give him so much leverage. It's going to that's going to be a Napoleon Bonaparte power move right there.
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't want to fight him? Get 3 fucking belts in one or at least 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the age is gonna be a big part of it. He's able to physically weather that storm. It's gonna take a lot of discipline, obviously, but I don't think David Benavidez has ever been somebody with lack of discipline.
Never.
I mean, there's arguments one
Pork
way or the
chop,
other.
appreciate you, my brother. Making me hungry too with that name, Pork Chop. Appreciate you.
Still blowing up on weight between fights. Yeah.
Well, Bivol is no longer the WBC title holder because he said no thanks. So Benavidez is the current WBC title holder. Y'all in the chat, don't make it so complicated. Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Bud had been losing rounds. Okay, now we're back to Bud. Bud had been losing rounds and close fights lately. Well, not
Sean
lately.
Porter.
Destiny just one fight, right?
I mean, you could look at the Sean Porter fight and say that he came back in that fight, right? Like,
okay. Okay, good point. The 2 out of the 3 fights he just had, she's right. Okay, good point. Oh, that's not she. This is another Destiny. That's a Destiny. This is a Daisy. Excuse me. This is the she.
Yeah.
My bad. Benavidez is irrelevant unless he talks about Canelo. He should fight anywhere he can. He won't be missed. Damn.
I disagree with that. Benavidez.
DC. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Benavidez is next up, without a doubt. Next up. He's right there, ready to take the reins as potentially, at a minimum, one of the faces of boxing in America. And as far as the PBC is concerned, he's probably the PBC's #1 fighter right now, outside of Gervonta Tank Davis, and that on a technical level, right? Technically speaking, just because of who Gervonta has done in the past. But right now, Benavidez had the crazy Morrell fight, right? He's the guy we want to see fight. You know what I mean? He's the other half of the biggest fight in boxing right now, which is him and Canelo Alvarez. So
absolutely. Appreciate you guys for the super chats. We got 4 more to hit the goal. Hopefully we could do that. Yeah, Canelo is 12-0. Let me go Knicks. Yo, are you a Knicks fan? Strong Island.
I mean, you know what? I haven't watched basketball for real in about 4 years. But
now's the time to start. These motherfuckers are finally going to stop.
No, I've been catching them a little bit. I've been catching them.
I don't know if you saw my video, but as a New Yorker, you would understand this. The Knicks have given us the biggest case of basketball blue balls in history.
Yeah.
Where they tease us, they get close, and it's like, nope, and you're just like, ugh.
All of a sudden they showing heart, man. They're showing up.
So I mean, look, they might not win the series, but I don't know. I thought you might be into it, but since you're in New York, he has Zorro. You're slow. Damn, Vega, he called you slow. No, you're just dumb. Okay. Nah, boo boo. Come on, grow up, people.
They're getting
Johnny, they
old
want
right
you to
now.
open my OnlyFans to watch you do your hairline. Yeah, one of my other co-hosts who comes on sometimes, Johnny. See, as a fellow bald man, we believe it might be chia seeds. We don't think it's real. His hairline, he's 51. His shit is like, there's his eyebrow and his hairline's a quarter of an inch over his eyebrow. And we just don't believe it. He swears it's real. So I don't know. We got to pull on it one day. That would have been a slap in Turkey's face if Bivol had taken the Benavidez fight instead of giving Arthur his rematch.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true. And you don't want to, what is it the saying? Bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah, I mean, where his bread is buttered, he stayed loyal to where, look, at the end of the day, he was irrelevant until Turkey, right? Like, we knew how talented he was, but there was no undisputed title fight coming his way. He was going to make his way up to cruiserweight and try to make something happen up there. So yeah, you gotta respect it.
Dan, what up, Dan? David B or Tank don't sell much pay-per-views, low value. Tank doesn't sell much pay-per-views? What?
Benavidez or Tank don't sell much pay-per-views, low value. If they don't sell much pay-per-views, and I don't think I agree with that. I feel like they do sell.
I have more of a question for him, more of a statement.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
And by
Tank is one of the biggest pay-per-view sellers. Keenan, what up, blood? The real question is, if Canelo's past 6 opponents beat Bud, Bud will give him problems. Which of Canelo's past 6 opponents beat Bud? Like hypothetically? No, you're doing triangle theory, Keenan. We don't get wrapped up. Styles make fights. Everybody is a different individual. They adjust differently to who's in front of them. Every fight's custom made, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Ernie Bailey, my man. We're 3 away from the goal. Appreciate you for the extra crispy. No, this one's an original recipe, 2-piece. The Knicks haven't won in 50. I know. Trash. I mean, shit. The Indiana Pacers have never won. Ever. This is Johnny. This is the guy with the fake hairline. Pacers in 5. Get the fuck out of here with that. Marco had Stephen A since college. That's fucked up. Hairline he's talking about.
Yeah.
3 more super chats. That's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, we got to start timing out these uneducated chatters.
You gotta let them have at it, man. They keep the chat spicy, man. They keep the chat spicy.
Yeah, if I grew mine, I'd be on some Fred Sanford type shit, George Jefferson. If I grew it out. Skull would definitely give Bud problems. Yeah, because of the movement and the size. I agree. I
don't think he'd move like that. I think he'd feel like he's a bigger fighter. He try to. I don't know if he fought Bud the way he fought Canelo. Yeah, look, Skull's gonna give anybody problems fighting like that. I don't care. Running away is not it. You know what I mean? You're gonna give anybody problems with that, with a style like that.
Ooh, here's an unpopular opinion by Kalia. She believes Bud and Crawford will be a draw. Not Bud and Crawford, excuse me. Bud and Canelo will be a draw.
I don't think it will be, but I get where she's coming from, though. I get where she's coming from. I could, you know what I mean, but I don't think so.
And Clarissa thinks everyone was saying Pacquiao was knocking out Floyd opponents. Look what, yeah, of course. You can't do triangle theories, man.
Especially when you're talking about like great fighters, right, Marco? Like when you're talking about like special fighters, there's something about waking up and getting up for the fight, right? Terrence is going to get up for this fight. He's going to be.
He's already. I believe he's been locked in ever since he came in his mind. And Turkey was like, "Yes, I shall do it." He's like, "Fucking."
Like, do you think he was dialed in for Madrimov? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, people are trying to judge him off the Madrimov fight. It's like, it's okay. You know what I mean? I get it. Triangle theory. We're going to do that. But was he dialed in?
That it might have been a bit of a Haney versus Ramirez situation where, like, I just want to get this win safely because I got something big coming. That could, I tell people that's possible because we never seen Haney be that fucking boring. But then the question is it PTSD from all the knockdowns? And that's a fair, legitimate possibility. You know what I mean?
I think it was multiple things in the same space. Yeah. It was PTSD. It was protecting the bag. It was all these different, It was let's get past this because we got a lot of money on the line. We don't want to get hit with anything crazy. I even got this theory where I said Devin has a new jab now. This new jab he has involves him keeping that right hand up, right? So do you think that alters the range a little bit? You know what I mean? As far as he has to now adjust to this new way of boxing where he's not extending that jab all the way out like he used to. He's holding it. Now he's having a hard time gauging that range.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think Benavidez is overhyped. Oh, Jesus. I want him to fight Bivol or better Biev. I'd rather see what? Rather see the what? Trilogy? Is that trilogy? Okay. Oh shit. Big shout. Let me hit you with the proper thank you. Let me find it though. Sometimes I lose these on this fucking soundboard. Where is it? No, that's not it. Why can't I find the thank you? Here it is.
Thank you. Come again.
Let's hit the goal. Go, Knicks. You the man. We got what we need. Two more. We hit the goal. The gizzo. All right, let's go down.
Let me ask you this, Marco. Let's go the other way. Let's say David Benavidez takes the offer from Turkey and he gets to fight Caleb Smith. He allows
or just whatever.
Well, no, he allows him to do that with the agreement and understanding that he's going to get the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, because that was Turkey's whole thing, right? Like, I'm going to get you that fight. Now, looking at that decision versus the one he made, which one looks like it would have aged better?
I don't really. It's a hard thing for me to answer because I just feel like his hands are tied. He was forced out of a division, not even because he couldn't make it, but because he beat everybody, and the one guy who would make his legacy refuses to fight him. So then he went up, and he's looked great so far. And now to conquer that division, he's in another holding pattern. So, I don't really think he really made any decisions. To me, it looks like he was kind of forced to just.
With Mauricio, right? Mauricio kind of forced his hand with that whole move.
Yeah, Mauricio Turkey by saying, nah, better be Evan Bivol, you got to fight a third time. Like Turkey kind of did that instead of like, because somebody order Bivol versus Benavidez? One of those guys.
Mauricio. Yeah. Mauricio Suleiman.
Right.
Yeah, he did that with that belt situation. But if he would have signed that fight and took that fight that night in Saudi Arabia to fight Caleb Smith, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think that would have held the weight.
You're right, Casey. Benavidez doesn't sell at the level of a lot of people, but today's numbers are so obscure and so bent because of all this fire sticking and all. Like, it's hard. Mag Life. When y'all gonna hold Shakur, Keyshawn, Devin the same standard y'all hold Tank to? Who's y'all?
Mag 7's coming at me now. I know what he's talking about right now.
Oh, you know him? Okay.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. Keyshawn lately has said some things now that people are starting to believe that he's starting to stray away from the whole entire "we can never fight because we're brothers" thing. Look, man, it's a messy situation, man. To have two fighters in the same division who are on brother time. Like, could you imagine seeing Jamel and Jamal Charlo in the same division? It'd be a mess, right? And they both holding belts. It would be disgusting. The right thing to do is for one of these guys to leave the division, period. You guys shouldn't be in the same division refusing to fight each other, blatantly telling the world you're not going to fight each other. Not, in the right situation for the right money, for undisputed, that right scenario. You're saying you're never going to fight each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Tank should be held accountable because he's a champion in the division, and as a fan of boxing, you should want to see him fight the best. And if he's not doing that, you should say something. But I agree with Mag 7 as far as Keyshawn and Shakur being in the same division, not fighting each other. It is diabolical. It's an issue. It's an issue. They got to figure this out. They got to figure it out.
Yeah, for real. Hey, let me hit. Oh, my daughter's calling me. All right, big shout, extra crispy 10-piece. Why is Puss in Boots ducking T.O.? I assume Boots Ennis. With the biggest bag offer ever by Turkey. How do we know it's the biggest bag offer? Both other 147 champions are busy. First, Ortiz was too big, and now Tio is too small. No one logical excuse. Quack, 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 quack. First off, my brother, thank you for the extra crispy 10-piece with extra napkins, and you gave me some Frank's buffalo sauce, which is what I love. So I appreciate
Thank you. Come again.
I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't fight Tio either if I was Boots. But if it's a big amount of money, a big payday, I mean, Boots has, I don't know. I would, if I was Tio's handlers, I would say stay the fuck away from Boots. That is such a not a good move, in my opinion.
But
What you
can
think?
I touch in on it?
Yeah.
We got to be honest about this situation, right? Like shout out HLD, because I know he's going to support Tio, and he wants to see Tio in this fight the way I wanted to see Terrence fight Canelo. That's where he's at with this, right? So I on that level, I truly empathize with his position and understanding of this fight being very important for Tio. The question for me is, what does Boots really get out of it except for money? And are we ever going to acknowledge that Boots in the past has shown that money doesn't move him like it moves everybody else? He's a legacy fighter. I know we've forgotten about that fighter, right, Marco? We forgot about the fighter who wants to be champion and unify and be undisputed, and he's thinking about the history books, and we forgot about those fighters, right? And we feel like it just makes no sense for a fighter to turn away big bags of money because they're prize fighters before everything. We can't imagine that there's fighters out there still who are like, nah, man, I would rather fight Brian Norman than Teofimo. I'd rather fight Mario Barrios than Teofimo. This is my legacy. I can get to the money in due time. I'll get to the money. Right now, my biggest, or Boots' biggest thing is I want to leave my mark in the welterweight division. If it's possible for me to unify and become undisputed, that's my priority. I think the sooner we start embracing the idea of the legacy fighter, because I know it's a relic, right? There's not that many of them out there. Everybody's driven by money, but let's start putting some respect on the legacy fighter and respecting what they're in the sport for. All right. I like that. All right, we hit the mark. My man Yayan, this dude is from Indiana, and he's been crying all night. Poor guy. He's been crying. I feel bad for him. You know, it's tough to get your ass beat at home. See, I'm talking shit like we didn't just lose 2 at home. Anyway, appreciate you, Yayan, for the extra crispy 5-piece. Let me hit you with the proper thank you.
Thank you. Come again.
And Yayan says, as a Shakur fan, I think him and Sean fighting would be a good move. Well, they're friends. Friends don't fight, apparently. He already got a lot of people wanting to fight. Why limit the choices even more? Well, Yayan, I agree with you. Mike Tyson said recently, not what he said the first time years ago when he didn't want to fight Bo because they're friends. He said, what better gift to give a friend than, as you young kids would say, the bag, right? What better gift? Right. Fame, fortune, that's what friends do for each other. I'm with you. But we'll see. I think one of them might lose soon, so it wouldn't be as big of a fight. Delusional. Who's delusional?
I am. Because Boots is supposed to be fighting Tio.
Who is this guy? His name is Claymore, as you can see there in the thing.
Well, welcome to my world, man. I'm usually on this side of the conversation. I'm used to it by now. I get it.
Word? They be shitting on you over there?
They be mad. They don't like these points, right? They want what they want. So when it comes to Terrence Crawford conversations or Canelo or Shakur Stevenson or Jerome Boots and his conversations, they I'm talking nonsense.
Band up. I've actually changed, man. You heard my story about meeting Bud. And Bud, by the way, Claymore, which was dope. When I was introduced to him, he looked at him. He's like, oh, I know who you are. To me, I was like, I didn't do that. I held it cool, but inside I was like, you know what I'm saying? When the number one pound for pound best fighter in the world knows who you are, you're doing something right.
100%.
Yeah, he knew who I was. That was dope. So no, I think the fight now is even. I can't choose either way. After meeting him. Before that, I was leaning Canelo, but not anymore. Steph, and the best mustache in the boxing circuit.
Oh yeah, that's an old school. That's a Whispers right there. That's a disco
I like
fever
that.
mustache.
Or the 70s porn, whatever. Either or. I got you though. I got you.
Yeah.
CJ Richums coming in with the original recipe 5-piece. And let me hit him with his favorite.
Open your fucking ears, jackass.
Or this one should be your new one, CJ.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
All right. We're over the goal. Let's make this the norm. Boxing is like a nude beach. There shouldn't be any draws. There you go, Clarissa. That was for you. Both of your thoughts on that. There shouldn't be any draws because boxing is like a nude. It should be like a nude beach. Yes. And I always said, CJ, a big way to do that is not make the fucking rounds even. That's a big way. Now, it could still happen. Way less likely if they're fighting odd rounds that there's draws, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I never thought about that. Odd rounds.
Do 11 rounds or 13. Yeah, it makes it a lot harder. So I would do that. And, that one OTX, whatever they're called, they do that like one, that extra sudden death round. You ever see that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, the sudden death round was
Have
what I
you
was
seen
thinking
that before from OTX or whatever they're
I haven't
called?
seen it, but I've heard about it.
There's a boxing league. Maybe it's Misfits or it's OTX. They do that. I don't think they're actually pro either. I think they're their own league and they do that. Or they might be pros. I'm not sure. But whenever there's a draw, they fight 1 round, sudden death. And I've never seen that round be a draw and then have to keep going to triple, quadruple overtimes. It's usually 1 round does it. Somebody wins it. But
Right.
yeah. Let Carmelo Anthony go to prison. Okay.
Damn.
Whatever the fuck that means.
And that got political on here.
There should be overtime rounds.
CO might just knock. Come on, bro.
Fighting Tio is not a money fight. Tio doesn't even have a pay-per-view. She does not like Tio. And have only 3 fans, literally. I mean, Tio draws. I don't know if he'll pack a stadium. I mean, I went when he fought Josh Taylor at the Garden, the small, the 5,000 seater. That was packed, but there was a lot of Brits or whatever he's from, Scots, whatever he's from.
Yeah. But also, Turkey's behind this fight, so the money's there. It's not, you know what I mean? Turkey's is putting the money behind this, so it could be in a damn hotel lobby. They're gonna get the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man. If it was up to me, I would change a lot of things in boxing rules, not just like a lot of things. The whole headbutt thing, I think is ridiculous. That if a headbutt punch causes a cut, that the person automatically loses if they can't continue. Like, a cut is not something that you do from skill. It's not something a fighter can choose to do. It's completely happenstance, completely coincidental. So why the fuck should the person who got cut suffer for something that the other fighter did not try to do and can't do? It's stupid. For example, like that's a rule I would change. I would change a lot of rules, man. I would have at least 3 refs. I'd have 2, 1 in the ring, 1 outside, and I'd have maybe even a 3rd one that's like a supervisor who can come in and overturn a decision in real time. Who can, you know what I'm saying? Like if a ref just is is in the wrong position and misses something, or he says, "Oh, Tank's knee is not a knockdown," then the other guys go and talk and be like, "No, sorry, but taking a knee has to be a knockdown." That's how it's always been traditionally, although there's no official rules for it. So there's a lot of changes need to be made. But I agree with the draws. I don't think guys should put their lives on the line to one of them not to win. But at the same time, it also does set up great rematches and more future boxing having draws, right?
And every now and then it's the right call. Every now and then you watch a fight and you walk away agreeing with a draw. Like, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But I feel like if there was any way to accurately count all the punches landed, there could never be a draw. Or maybe not never, but almost never. If you could accurately, and that's the problem. Dudes would have to take the tape, slow-mo it, and count. And you'd have to get a team to do that. And maybe that's the right choice.
And then, then not all punches are scored the same as well, right?
Well, there's no official rules. That I've gone through this on my page. There's no, and I could get into it deeper, but there's not one area in boxing where there's an official rule list that people have to follow. It doesn't exist. It's all up to the discretion of the ref and the Athletic State Commission, and their guidelines are based on just past history and suggestions. There's not one, we have the Constitution and you can interpret it.
Right.
Boxing doesn't even have anything to interpret. There's nothing official. There's
Right.
nothing. Yeah, there's not. People don't realize that. People the rules say, yeah, show me the rules. What rules are you talking about?
Is the knee, is taking a knee down or is it not?
Well, I looked into that deeply. The only guideline of rules that anybody is suggested to follow, the word suggested, is the Association of Boxing Commissions, ABC. They have rules that you go to the WBC, you go to the New York State Athletic Commission. When it says rules, they link their rules to that website. And when you go to that website, it says, this is a list of suggested guidelines for boxing. Guidelines. And in those guidelines, there is zero mention of voluntary knees being taken. It's not even there. It's not even interpretive. It's just not there.
Right.
So,
they didn't think it would happen.
and they've never updated it. You had fucking 100 years to update it. People been taking knees for a while voluntarily. Update the shit.
Yeah.
So it's a load of shit. So there's a lot of changes that should be made, I believe.
Yeah. I see they going hard for this Boots situation. Here's one more thing to add to the Boots situation. Boots has got a clock on him right now. He's having a hard time making this 147. I don't care. I'll say it. I know every interview he gets, he says he makes it easily. He don't look right at the scale. He's starting to look where you can see the weight cut on him. I think he's just used to the pain, but there's still pain there. Just because you're used to it don't mean it's not pain there. So his fights at 147 have to count for something, right? So I think there's a good chance he might fight Teofimo, by the way. I think there's a good chance he might fight Teofimo. I think there's a good chance that his appetite's been satiated, that he's a unified lineal champion in the division now. That might be enough for him. He knows the opportunities at 154 are there for him. I'm sure Eddie Hearn does not let him forget it. Every chance Eddie Hearn can, he will take an opportunity to remind him about 154 and how everybody's waiting on him there. But at the end of the day, once again, if he gets an opportunity to unify with Brian Norman, that's what Brian Norman is saying he wants to do. He's going to go to fight Jin Sasaki in Japan. When they get back, they said Boots is there. That's another opportunity for him to get another belt in the division. If it makes sense for him, what do you expect? I mean, it is what it is. Those legacy fighters, once again, Marco, those legacy damn fighters, bro, always annoying people.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I got to actually bounce. I appreciate you joining. Everybody, appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one tomorrow. I appreciate you, Claymore. Thanks for joining. Jump in again.
Oh, no doubt, man. Salute to you, Marco. Thanks for having me up. Peace.
Peace, everybody. All right. Peace.